Evening to you. Special Saturday edition of Fans Club Live Show for the fans, by the fans. Look, we wanted to make sure we pushed it back a little bit. This week was Turkey Day. We had a lot of spending time with family and friends. We wanted to make sure it was festive. But today, Saturday, the schedule's a little open, a little bit better for everybody. So guess what? Fans Club Live Show is about to go down. Get ready. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your brothers, tell your sisters. Fans Club Live Show is about to go on right now. We're about to put on the countdown so you too can join and be a part of the show with my panel. My panel has a lot to unpack. We're here. Week 12, week 11, everything's going on. So you need to be a part of the show. Fans Club Live Show is about to go down. Let's get it going. ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you. This is Fans Club Live Show for the fans, by the fans, and I promise you, if you didn't have a good Thanksgiving, if your Thanksgiving was it was mediocre, today's show will not be mediocre. We have a lot to talk about. I have my panel that'll be popping up. You'll see them on screen. One already on screen. What up? Salute to you, Rich. How you doing, sir? Rich will be on in a second, getting his technical things together. Listen, Thanksgiving, full of games. The NFL, let's just say, man, the NFL, let's start right off the bat. The NFL was not playing with us this week. They said, you know what? We are going to put out a full array of games for you to enjoy at your leisure with your family. They said, we're going to give you 3 games on Thursday. Then they threw in a special, Black Friday game, Rich. Black Friday game, man. So, look, I have no complaints. A lot of football to digest. Then you had college football today. So, as we like to say on the show, are you not entertained? You should definitely have been entertained. What's going on, Rich? How you doing, my brother?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, but next year and years to come, every Black Friday game should be a Raider game at Vegas. Raiders should have all the Black Friday games because we represent the black hole.
Yeah, look, I'm with it, man. I like the incorporation of the Black Friday games because realistically, for me, it wasn't nothing to why it was a bad game, obviously, with the Jets because of their situation at quarterback, but you know, it makes sense. I love that the NFL, listen, they are going to make sure their product is out there front and center, and they are going to do any day. They pretty much trying to own every day of the week at this point. You know, so it's all good. But, Rich, I guess we'll start with the first game. Well, I guess we'll start with, since the week is a little weird. So, week 12 started on Thursday, and Friday, but we didn't get a chance to tap into week 11. We tapped into it with predictions, but let's go rewind, and now we're going to look and see how did week 11 go and kind of start with your team, and then we go around. I give my recap on my team, and let's talk about week 11 as we lead up into Turkey Day games and Black Friday. Go ahead, sir.
You talking about the Miami game or the upcoming game in Kansas City?
Yep, your Sunday game, the Miami game on week 11. That was this Sunday that just passed.
I think the Raiders did real good for a team to go down to Miami. Usually we're like really bad on the East Coast, waking up in the morning. But the coach went and talked to the players. Again, the players said, "Hey, let's just stay home. We'll go out there Saturday instead of going out there Thursday or Friday and getting used to it. Let's just do our normal routine. Stay home and go to work earlier, like it's a East Coast game." And it seemed to work out because usually the Raiders get blown out no matter what their record is. They could be 11-3 or whatever it is, 10 or whatever, but every East Coast is almost like a blowout because it takes time for them to wake up and get adjusted to the time. And I think that what our head coach did is finally listen to the players wanted to stay home and just go to work, and that's what they did. Didn't break through just the normal routine, going to the hotel, eating the food over there, and this and that. So to me, it worked out. So I think that we should have won that game against Miami. It was a couple of blown plays.
By who? What was it? On offense, defense? What kind of was the blown plays you referring to?
The 2 blown plays was on defense. There was like a blitz that the Miami Dolphins called the perfect play for that blitz. I don't know. I guess it was lucky on the offensive coordinator's part calling that play, but that was like a perfect call. And the blitz came, and he hit that little screen and went for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then our safety, Merrick, took the wrong angle on Tyreek Hill. That if he runs where Tyreek Hill is gonna be, he would have knocked him out. But because he misjudged it and Tyreek caught it and goes. So it was just like, and then when Polamalu got in there because Epps got hurt because he hit Tyreek on one of the plays that Tyreek came across and Epps hit him, and Tyreek kept going, and Epps went down.
You said Palomalu?
Yeah, it's Palomalu's nephew. So he's
Oh, okay. I
25.
didn't know y'all had a Palomalu on the
Well,
team.
it ain't exactly. His name is not exactly like Palomalu, but it's pronounced a little different. But that's his nephew because his uncle is on our team. He's our running back coach.
Oh, okay.
And both of them came from USC.
Yes.
So more than likely against Kansas City, he's going to be out there. He's 6'4", runs a 4.3, and he tracked tracked Tua's ball down, caught it, and got an intel and running for it. And then he comes up and kind of strong on the run. So I wish that he was our strong safety. And Epps was our I wish he was our free.
Okay.
Was our strong because last week's game was our first time that we saw our second round pick 2 years ago finally coming up, making plays and hitting people in the backfield. Because usually he wait a while, but because of his 2-second hesitation on that play I was just talking about, he ran for that touchdown. But other than that, then the rookie quarterback was doing some
AOD. How'd he look?
He had some wide open Devontae Adams throws that he overthrew him. But the one touchdown that he did hit him on with three Dolphins around him, caught that and he went to the house on it.
Yeah.
But there was like about 2 of them that the offensive line didn't give him the time to really step into the play. So he just threw it to an area and it was just like overthrows. But but I know with the Jets game yesterday,
yes,
everybody keeps blaming his quarterback, but to me, his offensive coordinator, man, he's calling some stupid plays.
This is for the Jets. You don't like the offensive scheme that they had Boyle doing?
Because he was the head coach for Denver, and when Peyton went in there, Peyton was talking about him, and the Jets wanted to do all this and that. But now it's starting to show that another quarterback is in there, and the same things are going on. So if the same exact things are going on, I know you want to blame your offensive line.
Yes.
But he has opportunities to throw the ball, and he's throwing it like it could be 3rd and 7 or 8, and he's throwing it 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 before the 6.
Right.
And it's just, to me, hey, you can say whatever you want to say, but when you have 2 or 3 different quarterbacks and then you get the same results, hey, you got to start looking at the offensive coordinator.
But that line, man, gives them no time at all, Rich. Like, they literally got about, usually get 3 seconds is like the time that they say for a quarterback. Yeah. I don't even know if they get a full second, man. They are like under duress almost every time they snap the ball. Is that anything that they could do? I mean, I guess quick dumps and stuff like that, but every time I looked, they were like under duress every time he was going back for
them. And a lot of that is the quarterback is not trusting the offensive line because he just knows that if he looks or whatever is gonna. But for him to throw that pick in 2 seconds left, and it was like a 40-yard, that meant he had time to throw the ball.
That's a good point.
And again,
you talking about the Hail Mary that they ran all the
way. And for me though, because that was my boy I got on my fantasy. He gave me 7 points. But again, last year's rules, David, didn't give me the points that I deserved for a 99-yard interception, David. Last year's rules.
Right.
How the heck you get a 2-second 99-yard interception and you get like 2 or 3 points for that? Meanwhile, the wide receivers could do that all day, and they stats jump from AKA Lamb, who had 4 points for 3 quarters. He had 4 points, and then he wound up having all these points in fantasy. Same thing for Ayuk. Yeah. Ayuk had 6 points in fantasy. He gets 1 touchdown, and all these points come on the board. Yeah. Come on, David, man, fix the rules. That's BS. Because that boy ran 99 yards for an interception, and he got nothing.
Wow. Yeah, that'll be tweaked. But in regards to that, it just seemed like such a jet play right now to get an interception on a Hail Mary
Thanksgiving.
And nobody can tackle. Like, come on, dude. Like
you got 11 play, and you know what? It just ain't there. Now, if their record was a lot better and they had a better quarterback, and it's just the whole team. The team gave up. The team gave up. So when you give up something like that, there's no way that I mean, usually whenever there's a pick, I mean, everybody's flying.
Yeah, especially on a Hail Mary. Like, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so let me ask you in regards to now, you know that Aaron Rodgers is like 2 weeks away from, I know he's jogging now and is 2 weeks away from possibly playing. I mean, it's nothing to salvage. Their season's pretty much done, but do you anticipate him to play this year, or you think that's just him trying to get him some encouragement to, like, what do you think is going to happen with Aaron Rodgers actually seeing the field this season?
I think he's going to play, and he's not playing just to show or like being show off, whatever. He's going to play for the fans who bought all those tickets to come see him. Certain players, I mean, certain guys on this podcast picked him in the first round. I wouldn't have did that, but
number one pick overall for me. Horrible.
But it's just certain people picked him because they thought that, hey, if Aaron Rodgers would have stayed healthy, because the way that Jets defense looked, my God, a lot of teams would have been in trouble.
Yes,
a lot of teams. Kansas City, Denver, all of them, Miami, all of them would have been in trouble. So but I heard on the trading deadline that the Jets was trying hard to get Devontae Adams, but the Raiders wouldn't budge, and they were trying to get Josh Jacobs. Well, now it wasn't the Jets, but it was other teams calling for Josh Jacobs, calling for Max and everybody. So the owner, on that same day, he picked his players over the coach. So he got rid of him that same day, the deadline, and he wants to be committed to building with his team because he got a core there. He just needs to tweak some areas. Offensive line for us, and to me, like one of these rookie quarterbacks, man. I don't care. Just give me one of them rookie quarterbacks in the first round. If we can move down and go get them, maybe the Giants would be nice to us. I don't know, Colts or somebody.
Hold up, you don't believe in AOD being your future? You don't want him to be the guy next year?
I like him for this year. But
that's a real answer. I respect that.
I like him this year, but to me, he's a statue. We in our division, we can't afford statues. You got to move around. It's the Mahomes and Russ and Herbert. They all big arms, run around, buy time. He just sits in the spot and. Even though the offensive line tries to block for him, but you just take one of them missing their defensive players, and he's not going to go nowhere. He's just going to curl up and just go down. But we need to have a running quarterback with an arm. I like that boy from Washington.
Okay.
I'm hoping if USC quarterback keep dropping, I won't mind grabbing him.
Oh, right. Yeah, Vegas is a 2-hour flight from listen, that's, they still got the LA ties, in my opinion. So that would make sense. I kind of like him in the silver and black. I mean, he got the weapons. So it would make actually that's not a bad landing spot for him. I mean, that would not be ideal for where he would want to go in terms of pick selection because you guys are going to be in the teens most likely, right? Somewhere in the teens.
We should be, but with to me, I'll give up my first, second, and third to move down. Give him up. I mean, because the Giants to give up that to go get him. Hey, if he is who everybody says he is, go ahead and go get him. I'm not giving up no plays. And if they do want to play, I'll give him one of the offensive linemen. We don't need them anyway. So.
Right. Y'all got to clean house pretty much. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to treat the Giants like this guy, underdog in fantasy. Give them a lot of trash.
You know what? So, listen, don't call it a comeback, man. I'm down right now. I'm down, so I understand. My fantasy, Aaron Rodgers has dictated my whole fantasy this year. Messed me up. Go ahead, sir.
Nah, it's 3 games. Only 3 games left.
I know. I
If
need.
you're gonna
I need
do something, it better be
streak.
now.
I'm gonna have to look. Every time you see me putting these up, it's because I'm hoping that them 3 games can be wins because it's hard out here for me right now. I've definitely underachieved in my opinion. But you know, next year now that I understand the rules, I'll be way
No,
more.
no, no. Rules got to be changed. No. We gotta all understand the rules, and we don't want the excuse to be is last year's rules. No, we're asking you the rules for you to explain them to us.
Right.
You know, that's the reason why you go to let's say McDonald's. What's on the Big Mac? Oh, this is last year's Big Mac. What?
But in all fairness, though, Rich, we got just like when you open a new product and you got to learn how to do. You're supposed to read the instructions. We didn't read the instructions. We just said, you know what? It's football. I pick players. Simple as that. So I get the complaint, and then at the same time,
No, but see, but
rules or how things work. So you know,
but to me, if you're gonna do something like that, and then you're gonna have us pick defensive players, but then let their stats be there. You know what I mean? Don't go sitting there typing your fingers and bringing certain players' stats on certain positions down, and on certain positions you bring them up.
Right.
So you know, hey, you got defensive pressures and block passes that right there should be a point, because we don't know if that defender don't block that pass. Hey, that could be like a 40-yard touchdown, 50-yard touchdown.
That's gonna be a big discussion point that we have to give some time in between to make sure all the adjustments are made, because you talking tip passes and all of that. That's a whole lot to adjust.
Fumble, interception, and listen, treat them the way you treat the offensive players. It's just like I just finished saying. That safety ran 99 yards, and give him the same stats that you would give any receiver or anybody else that did the same exact thing for 99 yards. They might have like 40-something points up there, the way things look certain times. You got Dak Prescott putting up 40-something points, making my fantasy look bad. But you know what? I'm gonna call that a comeback, because everybody
I get it. I mean, listen, it's a weird thing to see. I've never been so invested. Like I'm a football guy through and through, but watching and seeing all of these teams now, because I'm invested, because of the fantasy aspect, has definitely added a new component to it that's made me every now watching Red Zone and all of this, and watching everybody's highlights, and I'm like, man, it's actually better. It makes it fun. So kudos to those that told me to join the fantasy football league. Y'all get props for that, because it definitely made it more interesting. It's nerve-wracking, because before I did not care about nobody else's games, but now I don't have a choice. But all right, so let's go to I'll go to my game as we talk a little bit about that. So good fight. You know, Seahawks always give us a good fight, but I was very happy. Actually, no, let me not go to the Seahawks game. I'll go to Tampa Bay game, because that one's right. That was last week going into this week. Tampa Bay game kind of played out how I thought it would be. I gotta give respect to Baker Mayfield, man. He got a lot of heart, because he was playing tough. We was on him. I think we had like 5 sacks. But he was getting the ball around and doing what he needed to do to make it competitive. But Brock was standing there throwing darts. Great pass. Just he stands in pressure and takes it very well. So I'm very excited about the way we look against Tampa Bay coming into this week against Seattle at Seattle, which we sometimes have some difficulty with them, but that was the late game, so I'll get to that. But overall, I'll say this. That game, Tampa, Jacksonville, Seattle, none of those matter to me as much as what's coming up in a week. Not this Sunday, because we played Thursday, so we got enough. That Philly game, we circled that bad boy, and we looking forward to that game. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Get some prediction on that as we look at the next week ahead. Really,
where's that game at?
That is in Philly, week 13 in Philadelphia, where I want to go. I don't want to play them at home, because that's not where they beat us. They beat us at their stadium. So I want to play at their stadium, but again, that's week 13, which is ahead. But we'll give you a little setup. We got a lot to cover on that, but not just yet because we're only in week 11 review, and then week 12 for the games that's coming Sunday. So let's go to the gobble games, man, on Thursday. Detroit and Green Bay. Where did Jordan Love all of a sudden want to look like I had him?
Quarterback.
I had him.
I know.
Bad weeks. And he's giving me 15 points here, 12 points. Then he explodes for a season high 32 points. And they beat Detroit convincingly in Detroit. Talk to me about what you see from Jordan Love. And is it official? He is now, he's the quarterback for Green Bay. They don't need to look anywhere else. What's your take, man?
I'm not sold on him yet. I'm not sold on him yet. Everybody got one of those games, especially in the division. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows their divisional opponents, know what they're going to do, the defensive calls and where they at, and he knows them. His test is going to be the next 2 or 3 weeks. So if he really grew, it's going to show in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But having a divisional game, always teams know what they're going to do. So I'm not going to trust that Green Bay Detroit game. So I'll wait. I'll wait to see. I'm not hanging the hat on that one.
I was like, by halftime, he had 19 points in the second quarter. I was like, is he really on pace? Again, I'm tying in fantasy with it. So fantasy buffs out there, y'all know it's only a couple weeks left. You know, like I know your players, when they do well, it's the worst feeling in the world, Rich, when somebody that you had on your team and then you let them go and then they get picked up and then they have a great game. And it's like, was it me? Was it something I did? But yeah, he looked excellent, man. 3 touchdowns, was hitting everybody, throwing darts. Then he ran for a 40-yard run. I was like, what in the world? Who is this guy? So, yeah, man, that was a big win. They now 5-6. Lions are 8-3. I think they're on a 2-game losing streak. So Goff got to step it up. He looks a little shaky right now. I don't know what's going on. What do you think about the play of Goff on the Lions?
I think Green Bay did some different things to him to confuse him. I think the reason why Green Bay came out the way Green Bay came out is because last year, the last game of the season, Aaron Rodgers' last game, Detroit was having a New Year's party out there, running around celebrating this and that. So that was their that was a billboard for them. Yeah. They kept flashing that, showing them last year and the last game of the season, them running around, going crazy, like they won the Super Bowl. And that's the one thing about the NFL. Once you start throwing it in another team's face, aka Dallas Cowboys, when next year roll around, all them teams that you blew out and you did this and you did that, do not think that these teams ain't gonna run it up on you next year. Or
say that, because week 13 we gotta do that. I'm listening. Go ahead, keep talking.
I'm saying them Cowboys keep running it up. I mean, it's all good because you know what? If I'm the coach, I'm running it up too. But I know. I'm gonna tell my players, hey, next year, or whenever we see these guys again, do not think that they not motivated to play us because now they gonna try to put it out there. Same thing with Philly and San Fran, where Philly was running around, was New Year's out there, and they was gonna act. So hey, what did San Fran do? They made a phone call, got one of Philly's best linemen, made a phone call, went, hey, and I'll be here now. I'm telling you, I was wrong on Chase. Chase looked good.
He looked good.
He looked good.
The whole line looked different. The whole D line looked different because it's like you got to pick your poison. I can't double over here. And then even when they're not in the lineup, the other guys are coming in with fresh legs. Ferrell, every time I look, Ferrell's getting half a sacks here and there. So that's what, thank you.
Thank you. Ferrell is another one like on fantasy. You release that Joker and now like, oh, he couldn't do that for us.
Yeah, exactly.
He couldn't do that for us.
It's true.
But the thing is that the reason why you went out and you went and got Philly's defensive lineman is like we discussed last year. He knows the lingo. He knows the audibles. He gonna be popping his head back, letting Mr. Linebacker know. they're going to do this. They're going to this side right now on this play, and they're going and then now he knows their blocking scheme from in practice all last year, knowing who going to block where and where all that stuff is coming from. So that's why you go get those linemen or players from another team that you keep continue having problems with. So if it ain't a player, it's a coach. You go snatch up one of their coaches, bring them over there, and they only got those guys over there to teach them the lingo. So when you hear audibles, you hear this and that, it's going here, it's going there, especially like on offense. And like when San Fran's on offense, and now he's going to call out their defense and be by the head coach, Shannon, and he's going to be letting them know, hey, he's blitzing right now, or he's doing this right now. So watch, just keep an eye on Philly's ex-player during that game, because that joker going to be in everybody's ear.
Calls out there and everything. I believe that. I definitely think. I mean, listen, we paid him a ton, and for what I've been seeing, at least the last 3-4 games, he's worth every penny. He is, the way that he's attacking the middle is allowing for the defensive ends to loop around. Either Armstead loop around. He takes up. He just causes commotion in the middle to occupy the center guard, whomever, and then it gets them the opportunity to have the one-on-one battles, which allows him to, where all of these meet me to the quarterback is taking place. So I see it taking place. I see how the strategy has changed. I love Wilkes on the sideline. So I'm telling you, I'm really looking forward to this game, week 13, because for me, it says where we are. Like, we really need to come in there and match their aggression, because they're not scared of us. Philly fans talk. They are not, hear me. They are not scared of us at all.
It's not just y'all, it's everybody. Cowboys, everybody. They're not scared of nobody. So to me, that right there should have been a Black Friday game. There's no way that you let a game like that. Is that a regular game, like on TV, or is it
on TV? Yeah. It's funny because Fox has it, and they didn't want to give it up. It was supposed to be moved to the night game, the prime game. But Fox was like, no, we keeping this. So they didn't want to give it up. So yeah, it'll be like in the afternoon, which is trash, because I'm like, no, we should be on prime time where everybody get to see us. Come out there and punch them in the mouth, man. We owe them that. Like I told y'all last week, Philly, y'all got to run us that fade, man. We don't appreciate what y'all did to us. Go ahead, Rich. And hold on, actually, before you say that, what up, Turk? What's going on? My boy Jermaine, man, letting us know. He said they allowed Love to finally play his type of football and moved out of the shadows of Rodgers. I agree. He looks like the guy that they drafted, mobile. He looked comfortable back there, man. And I heard the announcers like, you know what? He might be the guy. Is this enough to have proven by beating an 8-3, at that time 7-3 team? You're not convinced, Rich? It's not enough. Just because it's a divisional opponent. What's up?
Hey, Dennis Allen is right. You are who you look like.
They are who we thought they are. We let them off the hook. I remember that.
He said it like that, but I'm just trying to bring it straight to this quarterback. Yeah. He already showed me who he is. So that one game against Detroit, no, I'm not convinced. Because if that was the case, Aaron Rodgers got let go last year. You had the whole season, and you wait till Thanksgiving. No, you're supposed to have did that in week 1.
That says that he likes the bright lights. He's a superstar in the making. So he's like, you know what? I perform better on the big stage. Y'all got to put me front and center, and so I can show the world my talent. That's all it was. No, you're not going with that.
No,
Turk, he's not feeling you on that. But Turk, I agree with you. I think he took a big step to be out of Rodgers' shadow. He's been there, 4 years? How long he been? He's been sitting his backup. That's very patient to be a backup for that long. And now it looks like I just need somebody to kind of step up, Rich, to be that number one receiver. I'm assuming it's Watson, but then again, it's Dobbs, and then the young man Reed. So I'm like, will the real Green Bay wide receiver number one please step up? Could you please stand go take your rightful position and become that number one target? Watson, I think it's you. So he's telling you, I heard Love tell him, be patient. It's coming. I got you. We'll make sure you look nice last year with Rodgers. I got you. Just be patient, Watson. Mark, what's going on? Salute to you, sir.
What's up, brothers? My bad for sliding on late. Kind
Now
of
you
got the notification a little late.
You
So
good.
my
Listen, man,
bad.
this is a Saturday edition. We usually do it on Thursdays, but with everybody celebrating Thanksgiving, you with your family and friends. We didn't want to intrude on that. So I said, you know what? We can do it on Black Friday, but there was so many games on Friday. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do a Friday. And I got some good rest. So I said, today is good. Saturday, it's late. Rich put it out there like, yo, we straight. So let's go. It's nothing stopping us but opportunity. So yeah, Fans Club live show. We are, we independent, so we come on whenever we want. Whenever we want.
Yo, hey, my boy Rich look like he about to take the field and coach. That's what Rich look like right now, boy.
Yeah. Look, and Roscoe don't appreciate you trying to get his doppelganger either. He don't appreciate that. Get
I'm
out of
about
here.
to get mine in a minute. Keep talking.
Leave him in the cupboard. Leave him out of there. So look, Mark, we're breaking down. We did we did a little bit of week 11, but now we're really kind of moving into week 12 with the matchups that happened for Thanksgiving and then Friday. But we're in the first game with Green Bay. I want to get your take, as it was already shared from us in regards to how I think Love did. Richie's not convinced that Love is the guy just yet. He just feel like he had a great game this particular day, but Jermaine said, as I'm reading it right now, they finally let Love play his game, and he took a big step out of the shadow of Rodgers. What's your take on how Love has looked, not just Thursday, but overall?
I mean, the whole season he's been hit and miss, hit and miss. But if you're taking him for his last game, which probably was his biggest game in his young career, being on Thanksgiving, bright lights, you know what I'm saying? Everything went in his favor. He showed that if they don't decide to keep him, at least he does have trade value now. So that's definitely a good plus for him because it's not like if they decided to part ways with him, now they can get some decent value for him. So I thought he played good. I thought Green Bay came out,
Yeah,
oldest rivalry in the league. So they've been playing each other forever, but I thought Green Bay came out, established, the momentum, and kind of never looked back. And I think that's kind of shocked Detroit. I don't think Detroit was ready for Green Bay to come out there and pounce on them the way that they did. So,
mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people can call Detroit fraudulent or say, oh, you know what, they just a flash in the pan. I'm not going to personally say that. I just think that they ran up against a team that kind of wanted it more that day. And it showed because Green Bay they played hard all game, you know what I'm saying? And Love looked excellent. He played the best game of his career. He
Yeah,
wasn't afraid. He actually looked like the leader of the Packers for once instead of being a liability for the Packers. So
mm-hmm.
I think Green Bay future looks bright if they keep him and decide to move on with him. They've had him long enough. Just give him his opportunity and see what they can do. Plus, he's still on his rookie contract. So I think Green Bay will probably more than likely end up keeping him. I don't think switching to a new quarterback would be the remedy for them to go ahead and move on. So I think Love played spectacular, and they just caught I'm not gonna say they caught Detroit on a bad day. They caught Detroit on a day where they were playing their best football. And that's why they beat the Lions.
Agreed. Yeah, that short week kind of gets to see what your team is really made of. Because that short week, man, you can come out flat. And
Yeah.
it's hard to recover. You're like, man, I want to spend time with my family. I got to come in and work. Like, did I really prepare that week? I don't know. I'm really, trying to enjoy mom's home cooking and my private chef. I don't know, Rich. They just, seemed a little distracted. But they came out and punched them in the mouth early, and Detroit couldn't recover. Goff didn't show up till like the end of the fourth quarter where he looked like himself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little shaky. We're gonna move to the second game. Your timing is on. I noticed, Rich, how his timing is always right on time as we're transitioning into the Cowboy. He waited for us to. He's like, listen, I know they can only stay on this first game so long, and he happens to magically pop up exactly as we transition to the Cowboy game. Rich, I'm gonna start with you. Mark, I'll go second. I'll leave you for last because obviously it was your boys putting the 45.
Please do.
So
Please do.
thank you. Rich, as I take this, let's go, sir. Break down to me what you've seen from this Washington Cowboy game. Is the Cowboys the truth? Is it because of the cupcake schedule? But as Mark brought up a good point, they got pretty much the same schedule as Philly, but then I reviewed it, and Philly do got at least 4 teams that they played that got wins,
Three.
as opposed to the Cowboys
Three.
that played 2 teams that got wins. But three. Tampa Bay don't count. Tampa Bay don't count.
Yeah, Tampa Bay counts. But
So
go ahead,
Rick.
Ricky.
Go ahead.
Hey, I think the NFL is starting to treat the Cowboys like a homecoming game in high school. You put the sorriest team out there on your homecoming day, and then you make you just make your fan base all happy and proud. There's no way that the NFL should have put Washington on a Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys look great all the way around. Special teams, offense, everybody just hitting on act looking great, defense looking great. But again, it's Thanksgiving. Put some competition out there. Put Philly, put San Fran against the Cowboys. Put something that's going to be like a head banging game that is like people going to sit there and run around the TV with their food and their plate ready to go and watch a game. But that Washington game is like them playing the Giants or somebody. No, Cowboys is a great team. We're not saying that they're not, but it's a nationally stop the presses type game on Thanksgiving. Put the main event out there. Don't just give the Cowboys a cupcake game. Give them a game on Thanksgiving or the Sunday nights or the Monday nights. Put the if Cowboys is America's greatest team in the world, put them out there with the best teams in the NFL on Showtime. Monday night, Sunday night, Thanksgiving, whatever's a big major holiday. Cowboys got to face the best teams in the NFL. Don't give them that cupcake schedule on a TV slot where everybody's
watching. Yeah.
Come on, man. Don't do that.
Man.
I mean, same thing with San Fran now. Going back to San Fran. If you're going to throw San Fran out there on Thanksgiving, put them out there with somebody.
Seattle second in our division. That's a battle for first place right there.
I'm talking about the NFL. I'm not talking about your cupcake division that you guys lead in that, because we could easily go in that division and be second in that division.
Y'all probably could. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all probably could.
So no, you go ahead and you put the Kansas Cities, the Miamis, you put all those teams against each other, even though that you don't know who's going to be that team, but you know what? Last year's playoff teams, make them be the big headliners. So if the Cowboys and San Fran was going at it in the playoffs, so then that's the Thanksgiving game that everybody wants to sit back and watch. Philly and was a nail biter with Cowboys and San Fran, and you want to throw them on Thanksgiving? Well, put on games that everybody want to watch. Stop putting on these home games against scrubs.
That is a good point. Why would you put Niners Philly on a regular random Sunday, but you give like Cowboy? Why not the Cowboy Philly game? Why would that not have been
Thursday night? Thursday.
Why not you played a division opponent who's a cupcake? You knew you was gonna beat Seattle. Let me wait for my turn. I'm gonna let you and Ricky say what you gotta say. It's only 3 of us. I'm gonna mute myself and I'm gonna wait my turn.
You let the hate come your way first and digest that, and then you can regurgitate all you want.
Yeah.
So, Rich, all I gotta say for you, sir, is you hit the nail on the head a few times. America is we got the itis. We're fat. We just ate all our. Starting to get our plate together. We sitting there wanting to watch a good game with our family and friends, and you give us a 45-10 garbage game, man. Like, come on, NFL, man. You could have gave them a little bit better competition. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I fell asleep in the second quarter.
And
I
that's
don't know what happened. All I woke up to was a blowout. And I'm like, come on, man. What is this trash? But look, I respect you, Rich. Everything you say, 100% accurate. At least if you're going to put them on prime time, get them a more competitive opponent. They'll probably put up the same amount of points, but at least let the team that they play against put up 20. Not the daggone Redskins. Howell throwing the slowest out route I ever seen. Slowest, slow motion. Here's Bland. Congratulations, Bland. No hate for me, but I'm just saying that out route looked like a high school out route. Go ahead, Rich. Continue. Mark, I got you.
Hey, and my thing is that, hey, if you're gonna put Philly or San Fran against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, all that Cowboy fan base won't be running around crazy and talking all this crazy stuff. They know it's gonna be a game. Everybody knows it's gonna be a game. It's gonna be like almost like treated like a Super Bowl game. Everybody gonna sit there. You got all the food, you got all the family, friends over, and now you got a game. So NFL, wake up and start putting games on these Thanksgiving, Christmas games, or Friday, Black Fridays, or Sundays, or Monday. Put games on. Stop putting, because we all know who the bums are, you know. So like Arizona, Donald trying to duck, but yet now he don't want to come live and talk.
No, what are they talking about? The quarterback just came back and they still get win. It's just tough out there for them. But listen, everything you said, I agree with personally. They are definitely. I see some of the script. I see how they doing they set the Cowboys up lovely, but at the same time, it could be a three-way tie between Philly and the Cowboys and Niners before it's all said and done, which does make for a phenomenal storyline. So if that does indeed happen, as Mark mentioned it to me before as we talked, I would love to see it. But yeah, man, y'all gotta get the Cowboys at least some kind of like comp if you're gonna throw them on. Mark, I'll give my soliloquy on anything else detail-wise in a second, but you heard us. You know we don't like y'all. We give y'all respect because y'all are doing what you need to do at home. We just saying the NFL, you make it a little more competitive. Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
Go ahead, Richie, please. Go ahead.
One thing. My thing is that you make it competitive because now people that barely don't watch football but go to families' houses to go eat, and now you watch the Cowboys destroy somebody, and now the whole Jerry Jones BS about the greatest team in the world is the greatest team in the world because now a person that's watching football for the first time at family's house at Thanksgiving watching the Cowboys just smash somebody and thinking that this is what the Cowboys do and this is who they are. So my thing is that put on more games. That's a better game when family and friends come over who don't watch football, but now is forced to watch football because the TV's on. Put on better games and stop having the Cowboys out there be something that they're not. Because that's where they fool the people at. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh yeah, shots fired.
Go ahead, Mark. The floor.
My time to go. That's all I need.
Address the listener.
Okay, the floor is my. Listen, man.
Listen. Go ahead and address your public.
If you want to be angry at anybody, be angry at the NFL schedule makers. We only play what's in the front of us. Don't be mad at us that when you put a bum team, whether they 500, under 5, if you put them in the front of the Cowboys, you're getting 40. You're getting 30. That's not my fault. And I enjoyed Thanksgiving, and it was a spectacular Thanksgiving because let me explain something to you. The NFL schedule maker said, you know what? We don't want to put the Cowboys against Philly on Thanksgiving. Give me Sunday night in the front of America where everybody's watching and there is no other game on. So that's what you get in 2 weeks. I don't need to be on Thanksgiving setting records with 2 other teams playing and I'm getting 40 million watching us. I don't need that. But Washington is part of the NFC East. We play the NFC East. Matter of fact, every team on Thanksgiving played a team in their division. Mike had a cupcake game against Seattle. Geno Smith was limping around pretty much all day. He was hurt. But it's okay. And if we're going to go to schedules last year, when the Niners had the cupcake schedule going all the way through to the playoffs, and Philly had the cupcake schedule going all the way through the playoffs, and they beating bums left and right and making it look great, nobody says nothing. But when we beat people, you expect us to win 21-28, something close. It's not close anymore. And the greatest part about it is what you've seen at the beginning of the season against the 49ers, we are no longer that team. We are working on all four cylinders. All three phases of our team is working. Special teams, offense, and defense. They all feed off one another. It is not my fault if your coach can't go and game plan against the avalanche that's about to happen to them. So what I will tell you is, I don't want to hear next week when we beat up on Seattle the same way the Niners beat up on Seattle, and I hear, oh, you know what, yo, when you going to play somebody better? Because I don't hear this right now, so I don't want to hear it next week. I really don't want to hear it next week. And furthermore, to make it even a better cherry on top, the way the schedule is kind of panning its way out, it might end up being a three-way tie, because the next two games for Philadelphia is extremely critical. They play Buffalo, Miami, and then they come to Dallas. The last thing you kind of want to do right now is come down to Big D.
That's a fact.
Because there's a good chance you get a foot stuck in your rectum if you come down to Big D. And just if you're a Philadelphia fan and you listening, those calls you got at home, you won't get in Big D, baby. Your pockets ain't deep enough to pay the rest. Not in Big D. So we'll make sure that you get exactly what you. And after I beat Philly, I don't want to hear you only beat one team over 500, because between the Niners and Philly right now, Philly is the best team in the league. You have to give them that. Hands down, one loss. You know what I'm saying? And even if they decide to lose to the Niners and play a tough game and lose to the Niners and they play the Cowboys, they only have 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
So giving them their third loss is just the pinnacle of us showing the and the new attitude that we had going into it. Now we just open our offense up. There's no longer you double teaming CeeDee Lamb. There's no longer you thinking that you're gonna rush Dak Prescott. My line is playing extraordinary right now. My running backs step their games up. My wide receivers are all making sure they're open. Dak has time. He's playing at an MVP level, and I don't want you to give him MVP. Let's hold off on the MVP talk. I'm gonna hold off on that. Only because the reason that I don't want to say MVP is I'm gonna wait for him to beat the Eagles. After he beats the Eagles, then we will talk MVP talk. And plus, I might have the Defensive Player of the Year while we talking about that too, because right now, all of a sudden, at the beginning of the year, when Diggs went out and I explained to you guys, Bland is that dude. Some people on the panel, Mike was telling me how bad and how overrated Bland was, but you know what? Throw the ball. Throw the ball. I call him Mr. Third and Long. So third and long, when you're in that position and you have to throw the ball, just remember, my pass rush, who's the number one pass rush pressure-wise in the league, is going to come after. Yeah, you can check that. I don't have to make none of that up. None of that. Pressures, turnovers, I'm leading that. I'm top 2, 3 in that every single year for the last 3, 4 years. So it doesn't bother me. But, you know, don't get mad at the NFL schedule makers for making sure that they put a team out there that they know is going to put on a show for the fans while you eat. You want to sit and eat and watch a competitive game, but not competitive with the opponent, competitive with Cowboys looking dominant once again. Yeah. And that's exactly what has been going on. And let me state this.
Yes.
For all 31 other teams, when you put on a halftime show,
I know where you're going.
You bring out some rapper that only 30% of the nation knows, and then expect him to go out there and walk on some plastic with an igloo in the back of him, and then you compare that to us bringing out a legend like Dolly Parton. Listen, when we do stuff, it's an extravaganza. When everybody else do stuff, it's low budget. I don't need McMills bringing us out. We don't do stuff like that. We make sure that we bring out the legends, and that's what we do. That's why it's called Big D, because we do everything big in Texas. So we put on a show, and that's exactly what we do. So going into this week, when I have to sit back and watch these other teams, and I got a short week, I play Seattle and Dallas again, short week. I get to observe everything. Like tomorrow, I'll see how good Philly is against a real defense like Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? I'll get to see where we measure up when it comes to that. But I think that in the long run, the NFL schedule makers did an excellent job, because we're getting rid of all now. So then the next couple of games for the Cowboys are more competitive. You'll see Christmas Eve, we play Miami. When I beat Miami, I don't want to hear, oh, you only played 2 teams. I don't want to hear none of that, man. Steamroll is steamrolling. Right now, the hottest team in the NFL is the Dallas Cowboys, and there's nothing anyone can do about that. Nothing you can say about that. I told you throwing up 30 is a regular, and at home you might get 55 thrown on you if we decide to keep Dak in and he ain't eating turkeys before the game over. So that's exactly how we doing it. So to answer your question, Rich, they did a great job. I'm sure that you sat down and you ate and you was hating and your food didn't taste good, but that's not my fault.
Look, thank you, Mark. Phenomenal soliloquy and rebuttal to all of the hate that was thrown your way. I'll say this, Richard. I think I echo you again. I feel like it's a little bit of fool's gold because of them blowing out these lesser opponents. When you face an actual opponent that's equally matched, not us, but anybody that's equally matched, then it might be a little different. You might be so used to putting up 40, then when you got a back and forth with a team, can you respond to that? We'll see. But I will say this.
Whoa.
I will say this to you. As much as I don't like y'all, I 1000% need y'all to follow up our game with giving them an L as well, so we can balance this thing out. So
Mick,
we in sync right now.
Listen, we already talked mashed potatoes. You mash them up, and then I put the gravy on them right after that. Me and you talked about this already. And as for food goal, I'm not the 49ers. I don't mind for goal. I remember when y'all beat us, y'all were the best team on the planet, and then the food goal set in for 3 games, and then all of a sudden you went from being the best team to what's going on with the 49ers, and they got a quarter. So all I'm saying is it's ebb and flows to the season. You got back on track after y'all went on your bye. You came out of the bye, started playing Niner football.
Right, Niner football.
After y'all beat us, we got back on board and started playing Cowboy football. So it's better to start peaking towards the end of the season than to start off strong and red hot like somebody like the Miami Dolphins. When you're throwing up 70, you look like you the world beaters, and then all of a sudden you got to come down to earth because everybody then figured you out. You know what I'm saying? You kind of a one-trick pony. You stop Hill, and everything else is a little more difficult. You know what I'm saying? Because that's exactly what it is. But no, I love the way the season is going. And I love the fact that within the next 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, Philadelphia, if they beat the Cowboys in the night, well, the Niners and the Cowboys back to back will be the undisputed best team in the league, hands down. Nobody will be able to say nothing. If the Niners end up beating the Philadelphia Eagles, now the Niners are the best team in the league, hands down, no discussion. Week after that, Cowboys beat the Eagles. Guess who the second best team in the league? Undisputed, hands down. So it's all working out the way it needs to work out. The schedule makers made it excellent. So I'm looking forward. And if you're a Philly fan, I cannot wait to throw some gravy on top of you and make sure that once the Niners pulverize you in the mashed potatoes, I'm going to sprinkle some nice gravy right on top of you. Blow you out because you can't stop our offense. That's proven already. That's one thing you can take away. It's proven. They already seen what we can do to them. And if it wasn't for my boy stepping out of bounds at the last minute, we wouldn't be having this discussion. But I can guarantee you in Big D, I won't have to worry about that.
I like it.
Don't call calls to be called.
Look, I think it's gonna be a different. It won't be a bunch of flags that game. I think Jerry Jones will ensure that it will be played on the field and decided on the field. Rich, give a rebuttal to everything that you say, man. Who do you see coming out of this, out of these juggernaut teams, or who is it? Is it the Cowboys? Is it Philly? Is it the Niners? Is it Detroit? Who you got, man? I want you to put your hat on for the NFC. I know for your division and for your conference, it's pretty much KC or bust, but we'll talk AFC in a minute, but I need you to put on your NFC hat, man. Who's going to be the champ at the end of this? I ain't talking about Super Bowl in terms of best record and being clear who the number one team is in the NFC before this is all played out in a couple of weeks. And it's documented, sir, so just keep that in mind. The world is watching.
I think the Cowboys can pull it out, to be honest with you. It ain't because Mark knows I hate the Cowboys, but if I'm going to be honest about it, it's going to be the Cowboys. It's going to be the Cowboys because for whatever reason, but at the same time, Dak got to get at it Dak's way. Because he does some bonehead stuff when the pressure's on. I don't know why. Playoff games or games that mean something. If he just plays the way he played against the Washington Redskins, the Giants, and all, take that same game and bring it to those other teams. Stop letting them pressure you into doing something you don't want to do. You know. So to me, it's the Cowboys, but Dak got to get at it Dak's way. Now it all depends on the weather and the record. If you guys got to go to Philly, it's going to be a problem and an issue for both teams, Cowboys or San Fran.
Yeah.
So you guys gotta win out from here on out, and you want to try to get that home field advantage that Philly got, and let Philly bring that show on the road, because you. Weather-wise, fan-wise, you don't want to go to Philly. Philly fans do not sell their tickets. So you're not going to have no Cowboy fans out there going crazy, San Fran. You're not going to have all that. It's going to be Philly fans out there. So you gotta win out, and you got to smash them when you got a chance to smash them, because it's not only you winning that game, but you're trying to get them to go on the road, get them out of Philly. So I think the reason why I picked the Cowboys, because the Cowboys could go to the East Coast, because that's where the Cowboys been going since the 1960s, going up to play Washington Giants and Philly. So the time and the weather don't bother them the way it would. So the Cowboys got the best shot to go anywhere, either stay home or could go to San Fran and could go to Philly. So it's like I said, the only one I see is Dak. Dak got to get out his own way. If Dak sits there, relax, and let the game come, it's like I always said, let the game come to you. Stop forcing the game. Stop forcing things, and be aware of where you at in the field. If you know that you're going to run in, then watch that big foot, because you're a size 16, size 8. You know you got a damn big foot. So stay your ass in bounds and go dive in and go try to.
He thought it was a playoff game trying to dive over them in that Philly game. I'm like, okay. I said, he's hungry.
And so,
listen, man, my boy about to have a bundle of joy soon. The little Dakota Prescott on his way.
Oh,
trust
God.
me, Dak is completely 100% locked in, and it's proven he is literally playing the best ball of his career right now. And nobody, whether they say they do, they're lying. Nobody wants the playoffs to come through Big D. Nobody. Not right now, you don't. Not right now, you don't. So, I mean, yeah, Rich, I don't think Dak needs to get out of his way. I just think Dak needs to continue to play the football he plays. Just keep playing how you playing, man. Because right now, he's reading coverages like a masterful vet. He's picking apart zones. He's picking apart man. He's putting personnel in the spot that they need to do. To be in order for him to succeed. He's making sure everybody is accountable, and he's being a leader. You know what I'm saying? And I can't ask for more out of him. Last couple of weeks, he's been phenomenal. So I'm extremely confident and happy that he's at a point in his game where out of his mouth he has a grasp and command over the whole offense. This is the best he's ever felt. You know, he's healthy. He can run the ball. You have to also account for him running for the first downs, which he didn't do any last year.
Yeah.
He's making sure that he's making the plays that he needs to do to keep the Cowboys and the chains moving. And it's a dangerous thing. Everybody says, oh, you play an easy schedule until you play the Cowboys and they throw up 30 or 40 on you. And then it's no longer as funny as it was when you post your memes. So, like I said, we can wait. I got 2 weeks. I'm not overlooking Seattle, Mick. Richie, I'm just sitting here waiting because I need to dethrone. I need to literally dethrone the best team in the league.
Look,
then I'll worry about the Niners down the road.
If they thrown and drag them off it, man. I'm tired. I'm
tired of them. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them. You're an Eagle fan. I'm so sick of hearing your mouth. I'm sick of it.
Rich, you know it's bad when Cowboy and Niner fans are in agreement. We never agree on anything except that we tired of them, man. Like we tired. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I need to handle that.
Yeah.
So.
Stop acting like you got more than one Super Bowl, Philly, because you don't.
Philly's fan base is beyond humble. They just need to be humble because they just think that there's something that they're not. But anyway, going back to the Cowboys halftime show, when you got a 88-year-old woman singing and she got to hold herself up to sing, you know something is wrong. And whoever her doctor is, he did a great job making her look like she was like 42 years old.
Yeah.
But then now she's out there singing Queen songs, and you know,
Jolene, son. Jolene, bro. You watch your mouth talk about Dolly, man.
I think.
Watch your mouth.
I think Dolly missed that one little word was we used to be champions. So I don't know why, you know, she just sang out "We are the champions." I'm like, who?
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Talking about?
Hey, listen. So would you rather have Jack Harlow walking on plastic with a $5 igloo behind him? That's what you want, and nobody else on the field except for like 17 cheerleaders? Or would you rather an extravaganza where the whole field is taking place?
Horrible, son. Horrible.
Come on, man. Stop. You can't even compare it. You can't sit here with a straight face and say, you know what, I got to bang for my buck on Thanksgiving, because what you saw in Detroit was dollar store. What you saw in Detroit was probably the most low budget halftime show you will ever see. I even called Mike and said, who is this dude?
Yeah, he did.
I don't follow Jack Harlow. And I'm almost positive Jack Harlow ain't never been in Detroit in his life. If he is from Detroit, he probably from the suburbs. But ain't nobody sitting and following Jack Harlow. It was, to me, a disgrace to the NFL the way they put that on for Thanksgiving. You know, you don't do that. Detroit deserves so much better than what they put out for Thanksgiving. And the dudes spent 90% of the time looking at the camera than even interacting with the crowd. So, you know, you can say what you want about Dolly. Yeah, is she past her prime? Yes. Is she an icon? Yes. Is she a legend? Yes. Do you know pretty much most of her songs? Yes. The only thing I knew was on Jack Harlow was, I don't even know, what was it? Up in the Sky, whatever that's called. Come on, man. When you're a big D, you do it big. When you're in Detroit, you do it exactly like that. It looks like a street vendor, flea market performer. That's exactly what that looked like to me, man.
Let me move on to thank y'all for your analyst on your analysis on the halftime show for Thanksgiving. Who knew that Dolly Parton was gonna give props today? I didn't anticipate that happening, but I respect it because it was better than Jack Harlow performance. I won't even lie. I can understand the plastic on the ground. I was like some really cheap decor or whatever for that. It was really bad with the igloo. I didn't know where we were going with that, but okay. But listen, in regards to my game, Mark, you're welcome for Ayuk's last quarter heroics, getting you the extra points. With the great touchdown, what a 45, probably 50-yard pass, getting you what you needed there.
Mhm.
Brock killed me because Brock didn't do much because CMC ran down their throat literally, and like we just ran very well. Seattle didn't have Kenneth Walker, so I chalk it up. We beat them. We swept them this year. So no, not swept them. We got them in another couple weeks. But we beat them in Seattle. I will say this as I get off of my boys, because I won't. I can stay on my boys for a minute. But I'll say this: we got revenge. Because they beat us on Thanksgiving at our stadium and ate turkey at our 50-yard line a couple years ago, Richard Sherman. So I'm glad to see Rich and Mark. We got our revenge. My tight end snatched the whole turkey, ran off with it, and my players was eating the turkey on the field. Purdy threw his turkey leg up in the stands, and somebody ate it too, which was hilarious. He took the leg and threw it up there. So I like the fact that we got our revenge, man. You don't disrespect us at our stadium on Thanksgiving and eat the turkey leg. We got our revenge game, so I'm good now. I can sleep and get that off my mind because I always envisioned that Richard Sherman eating the turkey after they beat the brakes over us. So I'm happy about that. But Rich, as I come to you, y'all got Kansas City this week. What are the chances of y'all making this a game and possibly an upset, man? Like, you see, they gave Philly a good run for their money. Let's be real. They technically could have won if I don't know. He ain't even worth saying his name. I'm just saying, Scantly, I don't want to call your name because that was a really bad drop. Horrible drop. Beautiful thrown ball by Mahomes. What do you guys anticipate? They coming to the what's the name of that? The Death Star. They coming to the Death Star. What you think?
The Roomba.
The Roomba.
Disrespect. You know what I mean? Disrespect. But anyway, hey, I think we're gonna beat them, bro. I think we're gonna beat Kansas City. Kansas City ain't the Kansas City Chiefs that they used to be. Right now, they're just going off a name. You're gonna make me go get mine. But anyway, and with Kansas City, it wasn't just him who was dropping. I lost my fantasy game because of Kelsey's drops. You know what I mean? I'm not going to count how many drops he had because he won't bring his ass out there to South America to go see his girl and then come back and play a game and have all these drops.
Who was that did that?
Kelsey. Travis Kelce.
Oh, okay.
And all those drops he had in that game. So it wasn't just my man with the last second drop. There was a lot of drops with Kelce. So he needs to, because fantasy wise, I'm hoping Kelce does his thing. But I'm still going for my boys to win the game. But I need Kelce to put points up because I'm in desperate mode for points right now this week with the whole fantasy because right now I'm playing my boy Mark. Mark's been running his mouth for the last 5 or 6 weeks about he going to trip me up and this and that. So, hey, if I do, when I come back and beat him, I don't want to call it a comeback. I want to call it like I've been calling it. I'm out there to do what I do. It's not a comeback because I've been doing this. So, hey, last week I thought I lost. So I was kicked out of the playoffs. I
don't know where the tie came from. That's weird.
I did a little wake up thanks to Dave. Dave let me know that because of a tie, I'm back in and he got kicked out. So he's saying that, and then he started going off on ESPN and then right at ESPN. I said, hey, last year's rules is this year's rules.
Touche.
Don't blame me.
Touche. How you petty Pendergrass?
Thing is that I don't know how they because as far as I knew, that was the points, and I lost by 1 or 2 points. So I don't know who they gave points to make it a tie. But
let alone that random score that y'all had, like 187.44. I'm like, y'all both had 187 point. Come on, man. Like, whatever. Go ahead. Make sure you wrap it up on the fantasy because they don't know what we talk about. I want to make sure I talk about your 5 and 6 Raiders taking on the Chiefs to see if y'all can go 6-6. But go ahead, summarize your fantasy as I move to that.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing up fantasy because now they got Max Max Crosby as he's not scratch and he's not definitely out, because this is what fantasy did to me last time, that they had me believe that my linebacker wasn't playing, and when I turned the game on, he's out there and it's too late to put him in because of fantasy. So fantasy needs to stop playing that game. League needs to contact whoever they need to contact and let them know on who's a scratch and who's not. Okay. Because I'm not going to sit there and do what I did last time and leave a healthy player off my fantasy, and I missed 31 points. So I'm throwing Cosby out there. Cosby going to put on the show because he hates Kansas City. He hates Patrick Mahomes, and we're at home and we trying to fight and scratch for a playoff berth because of home, because the Super Bowl's in Vegas. So it starts this Sunday. Our season officially starts this Sunday against Kansas City, even though it started in September. But now we have to start winning all our games. Win out now. And if Antonio wants to keep the job and get that tag off his name and just be the official head coach, then go out there and beat Kansas City at home. Beat Kansas City. Do what you've been doing. Have our defense flying around the field.
Right.
Smash mouth and Patrick. The only one that's going to get his game off every now and then is going to be that little Spanish dude, Pacheco. That Pacheco ass. But anyway, he's the only one that he runs hard. I mean, he can run for 2 yards, and it looks like it's the hardest 2 yards in the world. And then he busts out a 45 or 40-yard. But I just love his running style, man. I'm not going to take that from him. He runs hard every play. I mean, people are out to kill him, and he just get up like ain't nothing happens.
Nothing. So you guys, I noticed something. So you guys really do need to win out, because Denver's right on your heels at 5-5. You got the Chargers underachieving at 4-6. So you're really in a prime position to do something potentially, because again, Denver is right on your heels. They got a tough game against Cleveland, but it's in Denver, so they could possibly win that in Denver, because nobody likes going to Denver to play. So because of the the air or whatever. So what you think, man? Like, y'all legitimately, you got y'all being in and being able to take on the juggernaut that's the Kansas City Chiefs?
I believe if we're gonna do it, it got to be this year, because Kansas City wide receivers, it wasn't just that Philly game.
Yeah.
Been a lot of games this whole season that their wide receiving core has been dropping a lot of balls on them. Yeah. So right now, if we're gonna take advantage of them, it's just stop that run and stop Patrick and just do what people been doing to Kelsey, putting 2 on him.
Yeah.
And now and then, just stay with him and just read Patrick, put a spy on Patrick. But and I know we could, but we got Kansas City 2 times, and then we got the Chargers once, and then we got Denver 1 more time.
Yeah, you can get right back in it now that you said that, yeah.
So if we could sweep Kansas City, I mean, because, hey, Kansas City is not that big juggernaut the way they used to be.
They're still 7-3, so I mean,
yeah. It's 7-3, but it's a weaker 7-3 than they used to be. Like back then, like when they had Tyreek and running game and everything else, it was like like they was all over the place and you didn't know who to stop. Right now, it's just their running game and Kelsey now, because their wide receivers might get something, but if you hit them hard enough, they might cough it up, or you can strip them. So.
And a couple of alligator arms in that performance against Philly, just a couple.
And all of that is due to Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes wanted the bag, and once he got the bag, Tyreek had to go. They wasn't giving the bag to Kelsey, Tyreek, and Patrick, so it was pick and choose, and they picked Kelsey and Patrick to give the bag to, and now Tyreek is down Miami.
But we keep forgetting that they did win a Super Bowl without Tyreek. So I guess because of that, they felt like they didn't really need to go out. I mean, they got the rookie Rashee Rice, but they haven't. I guess he's the number 1 outside of Kelsey. Is it fair to say?
He's that scat back that every now and then he'll get something, because nobody's really paying attention to him, because they're watching Pacheco, they're watching everybody else. And
I think he's a receiver. He like a receiver, running back. I know they use him like different formations. Yeah.
He just comes out and just be in certain spots. So he's not getting that much attention because I guess he's a rookie
Yeah.
and focus is more on other players,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll get those little chunk yards every now and then, but he ain't out there the way he's supposed to be out there right now, and to me it's going to be a good game Sunday. I think we pull it out and beat them, and I not only just beat them, you're going to hear it live. Because usually I'm not going to tell you no daggone point.
How you know? You already knew I was coming. I was about to ask you. You want to put it out there?
I ain't going to put it out there. As long as we win 2-0, I don't care. As long as, because a win is a win. All those numbers that everybody put up, the Cowboys, everything else, all those numbers don't mean.
Tell him. See,
it's
he
the
like
win.
style points. He
because
like
later on, you only talk junk to another fan once they start talking junk to you, and then now you throw out those points. But that line, but then again, the Cowboys points might mean something because if it is a 3-way tie and they got to go by the points, the Cowboys is going to get it.
Yeah,
the points is playing crucial right now, and defensive stops. So hey, if I'm San Fran and I'm Philly, you better start waking up, because if it comes to a 3-way tie, they're gonna go to points now, and then Cowboys are gonna get it.
Well, no, because if we beat the Cowboys and we all got the same record, unless we lose to Philly, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to play out. It's all over.
Well, then it's gonna go to the conference. It's gonna go to the conference, and then you gotta sweep the conference, and then it's gonna be some. But the only thing that I see really hurting the Cowboys, it really comes down to that, is that Arizona game. And they're gonna look at, oh, you let a bum beat you, so we don't know about giving you the whole number one.
That was the Dobbs-led Arizona. They was a little more competitive with.
Philly lost to the Jets, man. Stop it.
That's true.
Stop it. Well, stop. When y'all calling bums, make sure you say Philly lost to the Jets. Just say that. But let me know. Please let me know when it's my go, please.
The Zach Wilson-led Jets. Let's be clear.
Yeah, the Zach Wilson-led Jets. And Mike, you had a string of 3 games where your quarterback you played against wasn't good either. So
Browns team, 6-5 Vikings team. What? All our teams are winning teams. I don't know what you're talking about.
Vikings stink, man. Stop it, man. Browns stink, man. Just because you win, just because you got a winning record doesn't mean you're good. And can I springboard off of what on this Raider thing? Hey, Richie, let me explain. Richie, every week we come on and you say you're gonna win, and I'm not gonna blast you for that, because you should say that. I'm dead serious. I'm not gonna blast you for that. I think you should say that, and I also think you do have a chance to win. It's just which Kansas City team is gonna show up. If it's the Kansas City team that is gonna show up and make a lot of mistakes and not show that they're, ex-Super Bowl champs, then I think you do have a legitimate chance to beat them. If the Kansas City Chiefs that shows up and normally treat bums like bums, regardless of what your schedule is, then they're gonna blow you out. But since it's at Reliance Stadium, I think the Raiders have a more than better than average chance to be able to be competitive in that game. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win. I'm not going to throw no score on it, but I don't think the first half Raiders with Josh McDaniels is the same Raiders now. I think these Raiders got pride and play with pride. And I think more than anything, I think that they'll play even better at home because they want to protect their house. And now they got a newfound confidence in how it is to be a Raider and being able to sit there and protect their house. And I think Pierce got them on the right track. I personally think that regardless of how he is this season, that you guys are going to re-sign him. I think he has the locker room. As long as you got the locker room, you ain't got to worry about anything else. And the players believe in him, and they believe in his system. And even though you lost last week, you still look competitive, man. Y'all still played y'all tails off. It's not like you went out there and gave a bad performance. You just came up short. So I think, I do think what Richie said makes a lot of sense. You can have a good team, but you could be 7-3, but it ain't a strong 7-3. The same way, and when I mean strong 7-3, the game against Philly, Philly looked like they were the more dominant team. Even though some things didn't go Kansas City way, regardless of how you looked at that game, the aggressor and the more dominant presence on that field was the Philadelphia Eagles,
You
where
thought
it seemed like,
you thought so?
huh?
I thought it was
I
different.
thought so.
You pointed it out
No,
earlier.
I thought what I mean by that is I thought Philly played like Philly. Philly plays to the end of the game, man. That's how they always get the win at the end, because they play all 4 quarters. They don't play around. They don't sit around and you know, if they're behind, they're gonna keep on playing and playing. And it looks like Mahomes had to get to the point where he improvised a lot. Let me do this right before I get sacked. Let me just dump it off. You know, he had pressure in his face all day. And the thing is, Raiders play that same way on defense, where they're gonna get to him, because KC line isn't all that great, and the Raiders pass rush is above average. So I look for the Raiders to really give them a lot of competition, man. And if Richie, my advice to you, do like I'm doing, taking it game by game, you know, until you feel comfortable enough to be able to talk your talk. You know, you hear me talking my talk because I take it game by game, but I'm also understanding that my defense travels. So you're not just going to run on us. I haven't given up a 100-yard rusher. I haven't given up a 300-yard passer. I'm not giving up nothing, and my defense is not giving that up. So I feel confident when we're on the road or we're at home. But you're on the right track, man. I don't think the Raiders is going to go in there and just lay down and let Mahomes think he's going to do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Pierce letting the Raiders know that if you want to be respected, if you want to come in and come off, you know, as being contenders for the playoffs, mm-hmm. This is the game we must win. So it's a must-win game for y'all. And I think that y'all probably rise to the occasion. I don't see y'all being intimidated at all.
I respect it. Timmy said the Raiders better re-sign Antonio Pierce to a long-term contract. Mark, it sounds like you echo those sentiments that he should indeed be the coach, not interim coach. Yes. He needs to be the coach.
No, it's hard. It's hard, Mick, to find. It's hard to find a coach, Mick, that mm-hmm. that appreciates. Like, in other words, when you find a coach, you want them to have some kind of connection to your franchise, some kind of connection, whether it be, you know, third party, second party, you know, just like if you pick up a free agent, at least you want to have somebody on your staff that's familiar with that person that you're going to mm-hmm. go and evaluate to try to bring on to the staff. And I think that Pierce has shown in a little bit of time that he's been the interim coach that he's more than qualified to be able to be the leader of men, you know, in Las Vegas. So yeah, I'm happy for the dude, man. And I'm not a Pierce fan. I'm not a, you know, Giant fan, never been one, but I like to see people put in a position where they know, given the opportunity, they can lead their players in that team to, you know, back to the prominence they used to have. And I think that's what Pierce brings to the Raiders, man.
I think if I agree with Rich that if they do beat Kansas City, and let's say that his record since he's taken over becomes nothing but over 500 by, let's say, 2-3 games. Like, if he has a winning record, if he ends up finishing with a winning record, I think mm-hmm. 1,000% have to. Pretty much, you got to give it to him, because he came.
Got to give it to him.
Just trash, and just was able to fix with all those pieces. There's no reason for them to be trash to begin with, but he was able to fix it and get them to play Raider football. Yeah, you got to give it to him. But knowing the Raiders, I feel like if a big offensive guru of a coach is available, I don't feel like they're going to give it to Antonio Pierce. That's where I'm at. I'm just thinking about how they like that kind of coach. If there's a big NFL offensive coordinator that becomes available and he's been hot, they're going to take a shot, man. I think Mark Davis. I think Mark Davis respects the fact that Antonio Pierce has a history with the Raiders. I think Davis
understands that, how his father thinks. You want somebody in that building that's going to bring back the excellence that they once had. And like I said, it's a small sample size, but that sample size lets you know they fired their head coach, and the very next week he got them on board. The very week after that, he made them competitive. All they have to do is get over the hump and beat the Super Bowl champ. If you can do that, you're gonna bring respectability back to the Raiders franchise. Once you bring respectability back, remember they're doing this with O'Connell. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like he got a chance to.
Which one is he? AOD or
I don't know what he is, dog. O'Connell. What I'm saying is,
I don't know
what I'm saying is he doesn't have his players in. He didn't get to draft his Raider players yet. So give the man a chance. Let him finish out the season. Sign him. Let him bring in dudes that he knows gonna fit the culture that he's trying to establish right now.
Okay, I respect it. Look, for giving very detailed synopsis on that, I appreciate it. No arguments there from me. I like it. I think I wonder if the Raiders are going to be the Raiders, or if the Raiders are going to respect what this man has brought to the table. I'm up the mindset they're going to just jump at the next hot thing like they did McDaniel. Oh, offensive-minded guru. We're going to snatch you. I'm just used to Raiders doing that, so we'll see how it play out. Go ahead, Rick.
Hold on. Since Antonio took over, our defense was ranked number 30, just like I told you.
Yes.
Last week I told you they went from 30 down to 11 against Miami, who was the number 1 rushing team in the NFL. They shut the run down. They shut Miami's run down. They went from 11 down to 7 because of Antonio's defense. Because the Raiders, like I said, they put only $60 million into their defensive players and $120 million into their offensive players.
Yep.
All their money went to the offense, and the offense is not doing what the defense is holding them in every game. Every game that we lost, the only one game that we really got going out was Buffalo. But that Chicago game, we were supposed to win. That Detroit game, a lot of other games that we were supposed to win. So, hey, the defense is doing their part. It's just that offensive line, every now and then they're missing a block, missing an assignment here and there, and the quarterback is going down. Chicago game. But anyway, we shut down Miami's defense running game. That's all KC really got right now. The running game. If we could stop KC's running game, they have problems against us at home. But at the same time, I need Max to play, man. I understand that his knee hurts. I understand that his knee hurts, and it got nothing to do with fantasy. But he brings a whole different juice to our defense. You know what I mean?
He's a straight defensive man. He a G, man. He tattooed up, smoking his cigars and whatever else.
So hey, it's not. It's a difference. Like if last year we was talking about this Raider game and the biggest part is the reason why Love did what he did on Thanksgiving against Detroit. It's just like I told you, last game of the season with Aaron Rodgers, and Detroit treated it like it was a Super Bowl game. He was running around on all that Monday night game. That was Aaron Rodgers' last game. And guess what KC did to us last over in Vegas? They did a little kind of Rosie, running around doing a little and now you can't put up bulletin board info. And that's what they're gonna show. They're gonna have images of that in the locker room and probably throughout practice of them, doing little stupid things over in Vegas. They're not doing that tomorrow. I promise you, all that little stupid stuff they was doing, it ain't happening tomorrow.
All right. Listen, I'm now that we've covered Niners, we've covered Dallas, we've covered Raiders in depth. I'm gonna hold the Philly Niners game because that'll be week 13. But I do want to throw out some of the big games, not big games, but some of the games.
Philly Buffalo, Nick.
This weekend, and y'all let me know. Say that again, Mark.
Philly Buffalo.
Yeah, let's
Big
talk
game.
about that. Yeah, that's literally where I was going. I'm going to Philly Buffalo right now. What y'all got? It's at Philly. Buffalo 6-5, Philly 9-1. They're close neighbors, not too far from each other. We know Buffalo got defense.
Oh,
Josh Allen has been a little underwhelming at quarterback right now, but what do y'all think? Mark, go ahead.
I think Philly gonna beat them up. I think Philly is gonna beat them up. I think Reddick is probably gonna have a huge game, and the only reason I'm saying that is because Buffalo is pretty much one-dimensional. Cook is serviceable, but Cook's not anybody you're gonna be scared of. You can actually stop them, and against Philly, one thing you're not gonna be able to do is run the ball on Philly. Not running up the middle against the big tackles that they got. And if Philly can keep Buffalo in anything wrong, you have the possibility of Reddick and I believe it's Sweat. Is it Sweat? I believe it's Sweat on the outside. They get to the, not so much Graham. Graham is, just a veteran in there, but Sweat and Reddick can wake havoc on any given play. And I think that Philly has enough weapons, more than enough weapons to be able to outscore them. But the flip side of that, Buffalo does have defense. So, Jalen Hurts is going to have to play a Philly type of game where they control the ground game, be able to throw to their receivers. They're going to have to get A.J. back on board because A.J. last week pulled a stinker. God, I couldn't even believe that, man.
How many points?
Anyway,
how many points he gave you that game?
He gave me 4.8 points, man. As my one of my go-tos. CeeDee Lamb outshined him humongously in my squad, but I don't expect AJ to have two stinkers back to back. I just don't foresee that. I don't care who's guarding them. I'm sure that Hurts is gonna get him the ball. Smith is playing at a high level. He's always dangerous over the middle. I think he's probably, and I always say this, and everybody, if you're a Philly fan, you might not like this, but Smith to me is your most valuable cog within your offense because he takes so much pressure off of AJ. If AJ's getting doubled, because last game he got doubled a lot, keeping it 100. A lot. They roll the coverage to him. So you had to get Smith involved, and Smith makes sure that those chains is moving. He's a nightmare one-on-one matchup, for any slot corner or, a second corner. So I think Philly's just going to play Philly ball. They're at home. It's still Thanksgiving weekend, like I told you. So Philly fans are going to be rabid up in the building. And I think Philly will pull it off and go into the Niner game and make that game that much more bigger. So I'm not going to sit here for 1 second and say, I think the Bills are going to upset them. I'll be surprised if the Bills upset them.
What
like
about
that.
Diggs? Y'all know Diggs has been on fire, not every
but,
game the last couple of weeks, but Diggs is still very, very one of the best receivers this year.
Yeah, but the way Allen's been playing, Allen's been turning the ball over. Allen's been getting sacked. Allen's been literally making it his business to give away games. And the last thing you want to do in Philadelphia, if it was at Buffalo, maybe this conversation would take a little turn, and I'll give Buffalo a little bit more, but at Philly, you're not going to sit back in the pocket and think you're going to, unless you're Dak Prescott, and sit there and pick them apart left and right, and that's only because Dak Prescott is familiar with Philly.
Right.
Buffalo's not familiar with Philadelphia Eagles. They have no clue exactly what they're going to run into, but what they will run into is NFC East defense that's built to travel and play extremely good at home, real discipline, and Diggs is going to have to, if they were to win, Diggs and Gabe Davis is going to have humongous games in order for them to win because they are not going to win on the ground. And Josh Allen is going to have to use his legs if he's going to move those chains because if he's going to think he's going to sit back in that pocket, Reddick's going to have a field day.
Okay. Rich, what about Buffalo's defense against the Eagles' offense? Buffalo's defense is pretty nice. What you think?
I'm thinking Buffalo going to beat them. Buffalo going to beat them because Buffalo's offensive coordinator got fired last
Ken Dorsey. Yep.
And That was their first time of them playing somebody, and they beat them badly. So if Buffalo is going to probably Buffalo really don't have no film on the new Buffalo's offense. They got last year's and coming up the whole week, but now they don't know what to expect when certain line and they're lining up. So to me, Buffalo shouldn't hit them with no surprises in the first half and have them think that they're going, but just keep it close with the score wise. But but then now when you do hit them with new stuff, that you hit them in the second half, because now they don't do no halftime adjustments to try to fix the issue. Right. So now I would go in there with the same game plan, maybe last week's game plan, but then after halftime, go in there with a new game plan and have Philly just rethink, because that's the one thing you don't want as a football player, is to be thinking about what's going on in the field, because you've been seeing film, you've been looking at, you've been coached certain ways that they're going to do this in tendencies and all that stuff. Right. So have them believe that they got it right, and then after halftime, hit them with everything new. But you got to keep it close, because if you don't keep it close, then you're going to be forced into doing all the new stuff. So keep it close. Try to keep 5 touchdowns or 2, or keep it close that it's tied at halftime. But when you come back, hit them with all that new stuff that Philly didn't see on film yet. And I think Buffalo comes to them.
Make no mistake about it. This is a must-win game for Buffalo. Yeah, it's an out-of-conference game. Yeah. Buffalo has to win this game. Yeah. They have to win it. But even saying that, Philly ain't 9-1 for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Philly's not. Let's not downgrade what they've been accomplishing. You know what I'm saying? I know I hate them. McBoo, I know you hate them. Richie, I don't know how you feel about them, but one thing I won't say is I don't respect them, because you got to respect the team that's in and out and finds a way to win. And like I told you, out of any team in the league, the most resilient team that will pull a win out of left field is the Philadelphia Eagles. They play until the fourth quarter. They play every snap. They try to make sure that they put themselves in a position to come out victorious. And I don't think Buffalo plays that way. And I don't see Buffalo being able to do that in Philly. You know, it's a real, if you're a team that doesn't play Philly twice on a regular, trying to understand the environment that you're going in is kind of tough, because Philly crowd keeps them in it. Philly crowd makes sure that they're always in a situation where 3rd and long, you're going to hear all them Eagle fans yelling and screaming and making sure that they, can affect the snap count. They're going to make sure that they give the defense that much more confidence to be able to get to Josh Allen. And hopefully, Richie, like you said, if the new coordinator can bring out the best in Josh Allen, it can be a great game, nice competitive game. Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, we're talking a 2-week span. We're talking about Philly still being on the road. We're talking about Jalen Hurts still playing at a high level. We're talking about their defense still playing at a high level. And they lost a lot of pieces, and they still playing at a high level. So we have to
Go ahead.
So we have to take into account that the best team in the league right now is the Eagles. Yeah. And they're not really ready to relinquish that, especially to an AFC team like Buffalo. So I look for Philly to just do Philly things, and, they know they got a big game coming up next week. I don't see them overlooking Buffalo one bit. If anything, they want to go into this next game next week against the Niners with 10 wins under their belt, feeling like they are the best team in the league. So maybe I'm wrong, Rich. Maybe I'm right, but I'm going with the Eagles tomorrow.
Yeah, I kind of feel what Richie feels. I think they might be looking so ahead to the Week 13 matchup that they may come in thinking they can just run over the Bills, and then the Bills capitalize on that, end up winning on a field goal or something like that, because they're looking forward to, we ain't worried about them. They, like you said, they Cooks is serviceable. Diggs, they're gonna roll the coverage to Diggs, but then again, Gabe Davis can give it to you. You sleep on Gabe Davis if you want. them having 100
Yeah.
yards on you, touchdowns. So, and then Kincaid. Philly got problems against tight ends, so you got to watch that. So it all depends on, and at the same time, they do got a slight pass rush over on Buffalo. So if Philly's looking forward to just that Week 13 matchup and they take Buffalo lightly, the same thing that happened with New York when they played the Jets could possibly happen here. I don't anticipate it, but I definitely think that you can't ignore that you got this big matchup coming next week, and you want to kind of we did
Is
what we
Von Miller playing tomorrow, Mick? Is Von Miller playing or is he still out?
I didn't see him on no list. Nothing and saying that he was not playing, but that's a big portion too. Can they get enough of a pass rush on Jalen Hurts to cause some miscues that could keep them in the game? I don't know. Talent wise, Philly got them on paper. Everything says Philly beats them. But if Philly is not paying attention to their opponent and more focused on making a statement coming into this Niner game, they could end up getting upset by a field goal, and that's my take on it. So, Rich, we'll see how it play out for both of y'all predictions. Go ahead, Rich.
The thing is that I understand Buffalo lost some games, but that was Josh Allen just overdoing it. But a lot of teams do not. I'm gonna repeat this again. A lot of teams do not want to play Buffalo because you don't know which team you're gonna get. If you get that team that's hitting on all cylinders, they could beat anybody in the NFL. Now you got a Buffalo Bills team who's trapped in the corner, and just like any animal, you trap them in the corner that they can run from you and everything else. But when you get them in that corner, then now they're gonna start. So right now, Buffalo's in that corner now. This is a must-win for Buffalo. Philly really don't care if they win or lose. Buffalo got
Philly cares. Philly don't like losing, bro.
No,
the one thing they don't like to do is lose. And I like I said, going into this game, if you think it's gonna be a drop-off with the Eagles not knowing it's a big game, don't think that. You know, their mentality is every game for them is a big game. And that's how they've been playing. You know what I'm saying? You know, regardless if it's a squeak out by 3 or they win by a blowout, they come to play. So Buffalo's going to have to bring their A game. If Von Miller's healthy, he's going to have to bring his A game. But that's still going up against probably, if not the best, one of the best offensive lines in the league. Yeah. So even saying that, it's a tall task for Buffalo, man. That's how I feel about it. It's a tall task for Buffalo. If like Ricky said, if they come out and they playing that Buffalo offense, we know that can put up a lot of points, strike quick, and Josh Allen is using his legs and he's extending the plays. It's going to be a long day for Philly. And they still can pull it out. But if it's one of those games where Josh Allen is in the pocket and he's strictly a pocket pass and he think he's going to have time to sit there and pick apart Philly going to terrorize him, man. They don't, you know, coming from a Cowboy fan, trust me giving them that much praise is only because of respect for them. You know what I'm saying? And I'd much rather keep it 100 than to sit here and do what every other, you know, fake Cowboy fan. Oh, you know what? They're gonna beat the hell out of Buffalo. Buffalo gonna beat them. Nah, I know what they up against. You know, this is more of a welterweight fight for Philly. Next week is a heavyweight fight. The week after that, heavyweight fight. But for them right now, this is welterweight. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go into this game feeling like they're the Broad Street Bullies, and they're gonna try to exert their will on Buffalo. And if Buffalo is not up to the task, they're gonna get beat up.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Rich. Go ahead, finish your thought before Mark chimed in. Go ahead.
No, it's just that, you know, to me, Josh Allen is a Dak and Patrick Mahomes rolled up in one. It's a big guy who can roll out the pocket, take a hit, give a hit, and still throw it 80 yards, 70 yards down the field. So as long as he can move away from Philly's rush, get away, get outside the pocket, gives them enough time for Diggs and them to do what they got to do. Yeah. And if it ain't open, then dump it down the field, but don't force nothing that ain't there. And that was his problem. He kept forcing stuff that wasn't there. You got wide open running backs, tight ends, everybody else. Just take what they're giving you. Don't force nothing. And if it ain't open, then run down the field, get and then run out of bounds. But don't take a punishment either. And just keep doing what you're doing, and you could beat Philly. Philly is not this juggernaut that I don't see them as a juggernaut.
Wow.
If I see a juggernaut.
I don't see him as a juggernaut either. I don't see him as a juggernaut. But I'm not gonna say and downplay them either. I can't do that, man. I can't do that.
I'm not downplaying them, but if I'm gonna look at a juggernaut, I'm looking at San Fran and the Cowboys, who can hit me in a lot of different ways. I mean, when I see Philly, I just see AJ. I just see Gadget, the little 4th and 1, and everybody doing that. I just don't respect Philly enough, and I don't care what their record is. They could be 17-0. I just don't respect Philly. I just like to see football. I like seeing what the Cowboys doing. I like to see what San Fran doing, and that's football to me. I don't like all this little stuff that whatever Philly want to call it. They just look stupid.
Tush push.
So to me, hey, Buffalo just gotta make them be 4th and 5 or 4th and.
They'll still go for it. That's a good.
They'll
get it.
Punt. And
anything 3 yards and under, you getting that. You getting that formation. 3 yards and under, you getting that formation. 3rd and 4th down, you definitely getting that formation.
They definitely going for it, Rich. Yeah.
But at the same time, if Buffalo could put up points, because doing that type of football that Philly does, it chews a lot of the clock. And if Buffalo could jump on them and make them play football, make them play.
That's a big difference.
Now, if it's a tight game or Philly's up, and then they're gonna go into the Philly nonsense. But if you jump all over Philly and make them play football, that's when you got them.
Makes sense.
I like it. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate y'all tonight. We was on point. Y'all covered your week. You covered your game from this week coming into week 12, your Thanksgiving game. Obviously, Rich, we'll be watching your game tomorrow. We're off. We already had our game, so we're done for the week. But we'll be licking our chops because we got a big one against Philly. They got a game against Seattle, who you can't sleep on, regardless of anything. So, listen, man, it's the NFL. At any given week, teams can surprise you. So, again, you got y'all beating KC. Stranger things have happened, man. So, look, the one loss that Philly does have is against the Jets, and they didn't bench Zach Wilson. So, who knows how this thing gonna play out? But what would be ideal would be them to lose the Buffalo, lose to us, lose the Cowboys 3 weeks in a row, so they can experience what I had to experience. I would love that. That's putting it out there. Yeah, I would love to see that. That would be ideal.
I pretty much, I don't care if they go undefeated up until they play us. I want them to be the best that they can be when they come to Dallas. So if you're looking for me, listen, this is my take on Philly.
Yes.
Right now in the NFC, it's a 3-man race right now. Cowboys, Niners, Philly.
Yep.
When I say upper echelon, Cowboys, Niners, Philly. Right now, it's Philly, Niners, Cowboys in that order. Yep. And by the end of the year, it's going to tell a lot of who's going to be home, who's going to be on the road. But between those 3 teams, whoever's on the road can still win on the road. So it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're on the road. Just say Cowboys go to Detroit. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm indoors. It's like playing in Dallas. I'm almost positive it'll be 60-40 Cowboy fans up in there, so I'm not really worried about that. You know what I'm saying? And if San Fran is at home, they're competitive. We're at home, we're competitive. Philly at home, they're competitive. So other than, let's throw Detroit in there just to be fair. So we're going to throw Detroit in there. Those 4 teams are the ones that are most likely going to be vying for position to be able to have home field advantage or have one of their games at home. But all 4 of those teams are built to travel. and are built to be able to win in other people's buildings. So, now if we go into the AFC side, AFC is pretty much scrambled. There is no real dominant team because we already seen Kansas City have big faults. We know that Kansas City isn't the same Kansas City that we've seen. We've seen Denver make a resurgence all of a sudden. Now Denver's in the talk and their defense is playing outstanding. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Raiders is one game away from being right in that talk. If they come out and beat Kansas City, now you definitely have to respect the Raiders because they just beat all the Super Bowl champs. So it's a lot of
mess with that because Jacksonville played the Texans tomorrow, so that's a good matchup.
But I believe I don't think Jacksonville has the Raider mentality. I don't think they have the Kansas City mentality. I don't think they have the Cleveland Browns mentality. I think they're a finesse team, if that makes any sense to anyone. I think they're very finesse. I don't think they're a physical team, and I don't think they're built to travel. I think that they have to be home in order to be able to win any games, and I just don't see. It's more parity on that side on the AFC than it is the NFC, where the NFC is more clean cut.
We got the Ravens, who clearly stand out above everybody in the AFC right now.
Oh, all right. Let's throw the Ravens in. I forgot about them. My bad.
We can't ignore them at all.
Yeah, but Mick, if you think about it, the Ravens and Cleveland kind of play the same type of ball. And let's not forget Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh in there also. Pittsburgh still, they still alive too. So it's a lot of parity in the AFC where it's kind of everybody's vying for position and nobody's out of it yet. So you got good enough chance, Rich, with the Raiders as anybody else right now, because nobody's a lock. Nobody right now is a total lock where you can say, oh, they're the most dominant team in the AFC. There is none. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yep. All right, Rich, go ahead, sir. As we close, make your surmise what you want, sir. Then we'll close it out. Go ahead.
I forgot what the hell I was going to say. So you go ahead and talk about.
All I'm going to say is that in my mind.
I know what I'm going to say. I got my boy Mark a hat. It ain't the hat that he want, but I got him a hat. That he better treat it because it's gonna be worth something. I'm a big antique guy. I love antiques. I love stuff that holds value. I don't want you wearing it. I got it. You're gonna see it and put it away, because you can always buy a blue hat with a star. That's almost anywhere. But the hat I got you is going to be worth. It's a cowboy hat, but right now it's a certain price. But when weeks or years or whatever goes by, it's going to be a lot of people fighting for that hat and want it. And you're going to say, whoa, that hat is worth that much now? It's going to be that.
You got somebody to sign it?
I got sign it.
One of the players got him to sign it?
No, I ain't got no. I don't have nobody sign it. It's a brand new hat that I got. But you see stuff, and after a while by looking at stuff that's worth something, and now you kind of know how it goes. It's like that's one of them hats that once you get it, like right now you might get it and look at it, and he saw the hat, but he didn't really pay attention to the hat. But it's like little stuff like that you have to pay attention to. Right now you're only looking at it for face value. You're not looking at it later on, and later on you're gonna say, "Whoa, I got that one."
Hey, Richie, let me put you up on something, man. I still got football cards from 1980, man. That's been sitting in the closet. I got Micah Parsons jersey and a Tavon Diggs jersey still in the plastic that I done had in there for a year. I keep everything vintage, and I make sure I take care of it. I have T-shirts that I've had for 12 years that I make sure that I stay and I keep it. I always keep my cowboy memorabilia spotless. That's why you always see me with the same hat. I have other hats, but I'm not putting on my other hats. For what? I don't have to do all of that. I don't have to. All this gray right here, this is over 35, 40 years of me being
Yeah.
a Cowboy fan, so I don't have to prove anything anymore of
Yeah.
being a Cowboy fan. And Mike can tell you, I cherish everything that I get. You know, I want to be an old man one day and be able to pull out my Micah jersey and pull out my Diggs jersey, and it's still in the plastic, and I never wear it. I want to be able to get my Dak Prescott shirt out with number 4 on it. That's still in the closet. I don't have to wear it because I make sure I take care of it. So whatever you set your heart out to do for me, bruh, I appreciate it, and I can promise you it will be taken care of immensely. So what I mean by taken care of, you might catch me on the show with it once, but then you'll probably never see me with it on again because I cherish those things. Yeah, I like to cherish everything that I have. Mama always told us growing up, make sure you take care of what you have because you might not have it again. So that's what I make sure I do. You know, I've had my Emmitt Smith sneakers. I had my Emmitt Smith sneakers for about 6 years, man. My Emmitt, man, I bought those and left them in the closet. Left them in the closet. I got a pair of Allen Iverson crossover game joints. I had them for 4 years now. I don't even put them on. For what? There's no need to do none of that. When you save your stuff and you cherish things that you know you hold close to you, you always have it to look back on. And if I want to throw them on, I can throw them on. You know, my blue and gray J's. You know what I'm saying? I got it for Christmas 3 years ago. Still brand new, wrapped up in plastic, where no air hitting them. So I ain't got to worry about them ever cracking. That's right. That's how you do it. But I appreciate you, bro. And like I said, and just to throw this out real quick, Mick, I told Richie I'm going to do something really nice for him for Christmas. I'm going to do the same for you because me and you already talked about that. So, Richie, be expecting yours around Christmas because I have to go and pick it up. It's going to be one of a kind. Like I told you, I could easily go out and get you a hat, man. But I'd rather get you something that when you wear it, you know for a fact nobody in the state of Georgia has it. You know what I'm saying? Fool.
Yes.
When I get you, I don't know nobody in the state of New Jersey has it. So I'll be making sure that y'all both have that for Christmas. You have my word on that. That's already solidified, doggy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Look, man,
Hey,
this is
Mike,
the season of giving. Go ahead, Rich. As we wrap. Go ahead.
Hey, just like I told my boy Donald, who's supposed to send that hat since October 7th, my hat will beat your hat to Hawaii.
Yeah, I haven't gotten my hat yet, son.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
It's on the way, though. It's on the way, though. It's on the way.
Look, man, this is Fans Club live show for the fans, by the fans. Salute to my panel tonight that came on. Salute to those that watched us online. Salute to the new subscribers, new followers. Seeing you on Facebook, seeing you on YouTube, seeing you on Twitch. Salute to the people that follow us on Twitch. We appreciate you. Follow us on all these social media platforms we got listed here at Fans Club Live Show. Hashtag join the discussion. You want to be on the show? You want to be one of the panelists that bring your thoughts? Listen, we are the voice of the fans. Let me be clear. We're the voice of the fans. You can look at A. Wells, but you will not find the analysis that you get here. You will not find the passion for the fans. And most of all, you got a voice. You got your own voice. We hear you. We may not agree with you, but we can hear you loud and clear. My panelists, they're always here, ready to drop it and keep it real, because that's what fans do. We don't try to sugarcoat it because our team is winning. If they're not hitting on all cylinders, we call them out. If you got a cupcake schedule, we call you out. If your team was on a 3-game drought and you look like trash and your 7th-round quarterback look like a 7th-round quarterback during that time, we call them out. That's what we do. We don't hide nothing. We put it out there real. If your offensive coach was let down and you had to fire him mid-season, we call him out. This is what we do on Fans Club, man. So you can be part of the show. Follow us on the social media platforms. And again, salute to my panelists. Great job, gentlemen. And we'll be watching tomorrow night, tomorrow night for the games to see how they play out as we get ready for week 13. No offense to 12. My games are over. March game's over. We care, but do we care? Yeah, to a degree. But next week, oh yeah, we care. Oh yeah.
Oh, we care. Oh, can I just throw something, man? If you are listening on Fans Club, don't be afraid to call. You can always come on. And it doesn't matter what part of the country you're on. Doesn't matter what team you representing. If anything, we would love to hear from you so we can get more insight on your view of your team so we know better, because it just helps the camaraderie. The fans is what makes the league, not vice versa. If it wasn't for fans and the fans club and having your being a diehard, be able to express yourself, you should be able to express yourself. Sometimes you don't want to listen to the takes, or you have a different take from the talking heads on TV. So this is the spot where you can come on, be able to voice your opinion, talk with common sense, show your knowledge, and be able to comment on other teams. Just keep it clean. Make sure ain't no profanity, because we want to make sure that if kids watching, we good. And just be able to, talk your talk. Whether you bragging and you're a Philly fan and you hate the Cowboys, you want to sit here and let me know how much the Cowboys think and call us whatever, do that. But best believe, I'm going to make sure I let you know right back. So we'll have a great time, and you can always call in, just make sure that you follow us, on Facebook and all other platforms, guys. And we appreciate if you took the time out to be able to at least look at the content and at least try to enjoy the content. We appreciate you, and we let you know that now. We're at the ground roots level, and it only can go up from here.
Yes,
so
sir.
Thank you very much for tuning in and checking us out, man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Fans Club live show for the fans by the fans. Y'all already know what's going on. Bang Bang Night again. Get ready. Next week it's going down, but tomorrow start the week off with the week 12 as you watch the rest of these games. Raiders saying they're gonna upset KC. Let's see how it go. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Later. God bless. See y'all later, man.
Peace, baby.
Peace. Bang Bang Night again.
Peace.